are these people?
They're killing us softly, Collin. Microsoftly. Just to be specific. Everyone's favorite fucking like operating system, Windows Vista, Windows XP, you know, so one of those. But oh no, Windows error. Anyway, another InLakesh article. He writes, Microsoft role in Gaza goes way beyond the ICC email lockout. And look at this guy, Care Bear. You see this guy? You see what he's wearing? Look at that. Right? So this is from the AP. An Israeli officer wears Microsoft HoloLens headset during military testing. Care Bear, do you know what the HoloLens is?
Well, It looks like the Microsoft's equivalent of, was it like the Apple glasses or whatever those are called?
Sure. Here's their demo, which I've removed their music.
Like
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, and then we're gonna do this, just for precaution's sake. Even though all of this falls under fair use. Yeah.
This is work.
So, like,
we're giving eyes and ears to AI. So the world becomes your prompt and your interface. This is work. Working. These are thoughts happening.
hey, pilot.
Plans populating.
Copilot, when was this last replaced?
Information gathering. Instructions guiding. Schematics aligning. People connecting. Problem solving.
Copilot?
Hey, Copilot. Copilot.
This is confidence growing. Eyes widening. These are questions.
I just finished. Copilot, what's next?
Rotate the engine block 90 degrees.
Questions the way you ask them.
Please get me the detailed view of the optical cable layout.
Never too many questions.
All right. Let's highlight the relay switches.
Go ahead. Keep asking.
It's in position. What's next?
Keep learning.
The hydraulic filter was changed 6 months ago.
Okay, can you pull up the service record?
Copilot, what's the tolerance of this locking ring?
Here is a copy of the last service record. The tolerance is 9,000ths of an inch.
Remind me where this fits into the assembly.
Step 4, align the spindle. The locking ring is highlighted.
This is work getting smarter. This is work working better. This is work working.
Working, Care Bear.
This is work making sense of the world around you.
Is it?
Copilot, let Ruth know that I'm finished and close out the work order.
This is AI for the front line.
For the front line, Care Bear. AI for the front line. Yay! Nothing like some AR glasses for soldiers. You know, show me the nearest Palestinian to shoot, Copilot. I'm sure will be uttered. So, did you see this right here, Care Bear? So, British ICC chief prosecutor lost access to email and has bank accounts frozen after Trump sanctions on top court. So, I don't know if you saw this, but InLakesh is gonna mention it. So, last week, headlines lit up with a staggering development. Microsoft locked the world's top war crimes prosecutor out of his email. Karim Khan, chief of the ICC, had dared to go after Israeli officials for war crimes and was instantly digitally silenced. His accounts were frozen, his name smeared, his power stripped. It looked like petty revenge, but it wasn't just that. It was the latest move in a coordinated campaign backed by Washington, Tel Aviv, and Silicon Valley to destroy the one court willing to challenge Israeli impunity. Microsoft is at the center of it. While the press... yes.
Go ahead.
Feel free. I was going to let you finish, dog. You know?
Well, I mean, all I was going to say, Glenn Greenwald, anyone? I mean, we didn't report on that because everyone else in the mother did, but like,
yeah,
you know,
among many,
obviously, among many. So,
yeah,
you know, yes, I understand the significance of Glenn Greenwald, but this guy should have also gotten as much attention as
more,
which he didn't, so,
like,
or more. So,
While the press obsessed over the email lockout, few paid attention to what came before, its U.S.-Israeli information war against the ICC. After the court announced arrest warrants against both Hamas and Israeli officials for war crimes in Gaza, U.S. officials went into overdrive. Biden called the decision outrageous. Lawmakers threatened sanctions. Netanyahu smeared the court as anti-Semitic. Despite the outrage...
Wait, what?
Yes?
When did this happen? When did this happen?
Last week. This email thing. You know, this is over the ICC stuff. So that's been happening since Biden.
But and again, this is speculative.
Yeah.
So let me preface by saying that. But I just wonder, assuming this happened around the same time as the Glenn Greenwald fiasco, I just have to wonder if this was kind of,
in a sense,
maybe it could have been a coincidence, but it seems kind of intentional.
So,
like, in a way of
covering up
give
and
Glenn
distracting.
Greenwald the attention to distract from this, which if the mainstream media actually did their job, really should be the bigger story.
Sure.
Now, granted, with Glenn Greenwald, I only saw that mostly online pretty much, but this should have been mainstream news. But of course, mainstream media is in the pocket of Israel, so they're not going to report on this anyway.
No, they're not. How dare you? But
I can't help but feel like Glenn Greenwald was a pleasant distraction, so people wouldn't talk about this at all.
So, despite the outrage, the warrants reflected a 3-2 ratio. Yahya Sinwar, Ismail Haniyeh, and Mohammed Al-Deif of Hamas, Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Despite all three Palestinian leaders have since been killed. The Israeli officials remain untouched. Then came the kicker. The U.S. government sanctioned Khan himself. His bank accounts were frozen, and his allies were warned, help him and face criminal charges. It wasn't the first time either. In 2002, Congress passed the American Service Members Protection Act, better known as the Hague Invasion Act. It authorizes the president to send troops into the Netherlands if any American or allied official is detained by the court. But while the U.S. handled the threats and the muscle, Microsoft played a more subtle role. According to Khan, the company blocked him from his official ICC email account just as he was formalizing charges against top Israeli leaders. The timing, to many, wasn't a coincidence, it was a message. Following October 7th, Microsoft signed $10 million in new contracts with the Israeli military through a secretive program called Project Azure. The company provided infrastructure for Israeli intelligence and Air Force units, including Unit 8200 and Unit 81. These are the same units compiling kill lists in Gaza. The company stayed quiet until recently when it admitted to providing emergency support to Israel, but insisted that there was no evidence tech harmed civilians. We investigated ourselves and found we did nothing. Here's Middle East Eye saying inside the campaign to end Microsoft's collaboration with the Israeli army. Do you remember this lady, Care Bear? Do you remember this lady right here? So you're going to. You're going to remember. Hold on. Once I play the beautiful bean footage.
Other than, wait, you played it for me yesterday, or you played it last night when we were
Well, last week, Microsoft celebrated their 50th anniversary. But what was meant to be a flashy and jovial moment for the tech giant instead became a spotlight on its complicity in Israel's war on Gaza. That's because two courageous junior engineers stood up and disrupted the high-profile events, one involving the company's founder, Bill Gates. You may have seen the viral footage of Ibtihal Abu Said disrupting a speech by Microsoft's AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman. The young Moroccan engineer was part of the company's leading AI audio transcription team, but discovered her work was being used to help the Israeli military record and translate Palestinian voices on the ground in Gaza before they're being targeted by Israeli airstrikes. When she found out, she felt she had no choice but to speak up. Have a listen.
The question I wanted to address today is really simple. What does all this mean?
Mustafa, shame on you. You say you claim that you care about using good, but Microsoft sells AI weapons to the Israeli military. 50,000 people have died, and Microsoft powers this genocide in our region.
Thank you for your process, I hear you.
You're serious, I know about this, Mustafa. You are
I hear the process, thank you.
Shame on you. You are a war profiteer. Stop using AI for genocide, Mustafa. Stop using AI for genocide in our region. You have blood on your hands. All of Microsoft has blood on its hands. How do you all celebrate when Microsoft is killing children? Shame on you all.
Thank you. I hear your protest, thank you.
I hear you. I hear you. Fucking god damn it. That guy, dude.
I acknowledge your dissent, but I'm not gonna do shit about it.
Right. Yeah, like I mean it's pretty much like anyway, how many times are we gonna hear I hear you now? You know?
Right.
So anyway, we're actually gonna hear her, right? We're gonna talk to her directly. Well, Middle East Eye is. Luckily, you know, we have the power of technology.
You'll notice
so
in that video that Abu said a Moroccan refers to Mustafa Sulaiman by his ethnicity as Syrian in connection to what is happening in Gaza. Now, Abu Said was fired on Monday by Microsoft over what the company called, quote, just cause willful misconduct, disobedience, or willful neglect of duty. We spoke to her yesterday and she told Middle East Eye that many of the staff working at Microsoft are kept in the dark about how their work is being used to help Israel's military.
It has this reputation of being a company that like empowers people and empowers organizations. So, and like a military arms manufacturer, for example, where you know what you're signing up for and you've made that decision based on your like values. For Microsoft, like we just felt as employees that we were tricked, right? Like we did not sign up to work on code that directly powers war crimes. So like speaking to my personal example, I worked in the AI org and I worked on like speech to text essentially. And what I was describing about these tools being used for surveillance and targeting is definitely not something I sign up for. Like when I was trying to join the organization, all the marketing was around like, oh, we have these accessibility products where like people who have hearing issues can like see transcriptions. Like it's all marketed as like a force for good and like tech that benefits the world. And so that's what makes it even more important to speak up, because this was not something that any of the employees really just join Microsoft for.
Thoughts?
I mean, she's no lies detected.
yeah. No lies. No lies detected. So, here's from the Independent, right? Microsoft admits it provided AI to Israeli military for war in Gaza. So, they admit it. That's what they're doing. Lady's got a point, you know, so, but that's not all. Microsoft previously poured $78 million into the Israeli surveillance firm AnyVision, whose facial recognition tech was deployed across the West Bank. It also powered an app developed by the Israeli military, Al-Munesik, which spies on Palestinian permit holders. Its cloud systems process their private phone data. Worse still, Microsoft has been stacking its upper ranks with veterans of Israel's Unit 8200, effectively embedding a foreign intelligence agency into the core of one of America's most powerful corporations and building its next data centers in Israel. While the ICC is being sabotaged from the top, resistance is brewing from within. On April 4th, 2 Microsoft employees, one a whistleblower, disrupted the company's 50th anniversary celebration, accusing it of complicity in genocide. Both were fired. Then, at the Build 2025 conference, Palestinian engineer Joe Lopez interrupted CEO Satya Nadella mid-speech, saying, "My people are suffering." Security dragged him out. A day later, another protest shouted down a separate keynote, "No Azure for Apartheid." Protesters outside waved Palestinian flags and demanded answers. I bet they didn't get shit. These demonstrations were organized by the group No Azure for Apartheid, which has been documenting how Microsoft's tools are helping Israel wage war. Inside the company, those who speak out face retaliation. Meanwhile, Netanyahu is gloating the prosecutor should be worried about his status. He said after the warrants were announced, that threat has aged well. Many critics of Microsoft's outsized role in Israel's war argue that when a foreign state and its allies in Silicon Valley can paralyze an international court with the click of a button, it's not just Gaza under siege, it's in our institutions, our tech, and our sovereignty. So that's it. That's what I have to say. Microsoft sucks. Shut it down. Just shut it all down. You know, fucking close the door, turn it off. You know what I mean? Shut it down.
I was wondering if you were going to insert that sound clip.
Yeah,
you did.
Working on it. I got there. Any closing thoughts? No.
I mean, well, I think you wanted to report on this because this is kind of in your wheelhouse in terms of like AI and like the doom and gloom of
murder
it,
robots.
and then like
how don't worry about
it's
it.
going to
It's
exactly.
fine.
Like
it's fine.
Yeah. So, but you know what this kind of reminds me of? This kind of shows me my not nerdom, but like kind of some of my geeky moments. So you know, you haven't seen Evangelion in full, correct?
No, I've not.
No.
Only bits and pieces.
So those of you who know, so those of you who do watch anime and argue good anime, in Neon Genesis Evangelion, the whole like Tokyo Free, that basically the military city that they built to defend themselves from the angels was basically run by supercomputers known as the Magi. So essentially those computers basically run the show. So that this kind of is what this is reminding me of, like in terms of having computers essentially making the decisions, especially big decisions for the human race. So it's kind of scary to think about like that anime that came out in 1995. We're basically nearing that point now in terms of AI being able to make decisions for us like 30 years later. Essentially, we're there now. So it's kind of scary to think about, one, how fast technology has become, that we're able to get to this point coming from a sci-fi anime, but then like how scary it is that, you know, given, you know, all these connections with AI and drones and the military, you know, like, you know, like they can find you and off you, you know, just with a simple command.
Have you seen the it's on Apple TV, the Murderbot show?
No.
Yeah, it stars Alexander Skarsgård. You know, a rogue security robot secretly gains free will. So, I mean, they're definitely trying to like let you know before the terror gets here, you know, hey, this might be some things to worry about. So, yeah, not great. Not great. Not good. Not great. So, but yeah, talking about these things is most likely why tech companies such as YouTube demonetize us for talking about such things, you know. But if you want to give money to us anyway and say fuck YouTube and Microsoft, you could do it at ko-fi.com/indienewsnetwork or by scanning the QR code on your screen. And if YouTube lets us keep it down in the doobly-doo below. But if you can't give monetarily, just do all the algorithm stuff. It's apparently the only thing that gets us to new people. So like and subscribe, share the video to your friends. We literally get support one viewer at a time. And, you know, leave a comment. Let us know what, you know, are you using Microsoft machines? Are you worried about this? You should be. But let us know. Otherwise, thanks for watching.